Whoops, I got my ears backwards here. So this Kenny guy is a predator. Well, he only weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. How can he be a predator? He's the pussy-ass bitch type predator, just like Chad Cronin. He's got issues with his mammy. He is drinking and drugging. And I don't mean just taking a little bit to medicate, whatever. He was he was bombed. I guess it was 2 weeks ago on a Sunday night. Really buttered me up. Well, what do predators do? They misrepresent themselves, a covert narcissist, covert predators. They misrepresent themselves as well, in his case, he's got the speech impediment, so it's really convincing, and he takes on this whole new persona of this, oh, I'm just a little homeless guy who's so grateful for whatever he gets, and oh, I thank you, and, does this fucking, thank you, bullshit. As soon as he gets money in his pocket, he's got an attitude. And if he use that shit to hustle, oh, I get paid tomorrow, I promise I'll pay you tomorrow. As soon as tomorrow comes and he's got money in his pocket, you're the bad guy. He got high. I buttered him up real good by letting him know that guy from Salvation Army was part of a hit on him to cover up the fraud about the blood clot, which, let's put it this way, if Bill Kinnear ended up with a blood clot and the hospital didn't treat him properly and let him die, guess what? That's your fucking karma, because you're their fucking snitch. You're their fucking bad guy. Just like the Kennedys. You crawled in bed with this criminal organization and you thought you were going to shake them down, and the Mossad popped your ass. But anyway, when he's lying about the people he hustled money out of and making them look like the bad guy, and he's the good guy and he's the victim, and when I buttered him up with that shit with the guy from Salvation Army and gained his confidence, he basically admitted that he's homeless by choice. Apparently he had a place he was renting. It was a basement, didn't come furnished. When she was making me sleep on the concrete floor, I said, bro, you brag about how everybody throws money at you, and I watch them throw money at you. Food, money, whatever you want. Why didn't you go ask one of these charities for a fucking bed? They would have probably given you one. He wouldn't give me an answer. He changed the subject. He really thought that lady owed him a fucking bed. And to be honest, even if she had bought him one, I bet you he still would have left. He wants his whole check to himself to go give every fucking dime he gets in his hand to the pedos who run the lottery. And we know that Epstein's pedo partners in crime run all these state lotteries, because after Epstein caught his charge in Florida, they arranged for him to win the Powerball. Yes, Epstein won the Powerball. I guess it was the state of New Mexico. I don't remember which state it was. I think it was New Mexico. I think it was like, Sheila Zolnar did a video on that. It was like 2 weeks before his plea agreement, or 2 weeks after he was arrested. It was a very conspicuous date, and it was very unlikely a coincidence. So if Epstein's partners in crime are able to rig the lottery, which we know it's one big scam anyway, so of course it's his partners in crime, whether they were directly affiliated with him, and we know his partners in crime run the state of Vermont. So when you're out hustling flying a sign, begging people for money, making $200 in 2 hours, and go give every fucking dime of it to Epstein's partners in crime, and you act just like him, you're a fucking predator. Just because he's not big enough to go beat the shit out of a woman and rape her or whatever doesn't mean he's not a predator. Domestic violence is financial too. Look at me sitting out here living in the fucking sleeping on the streets. I'm Chad's detective. He uses all the evidence I gather to blackmail motherfuckers. He blackmails people in the Democratic Party. He blackmails people in the Republican Party with the evidence I get. But yet he's not paying me a dime. He used me on all those cases in Florida, made all that fucking money. Didn't pay me a fucking dime. What does he do? He owes me. He plays the victim. Oh, she stole from me. Oh, she's drunk, she's high, she's relapsed. Meanwhile, he's the motherfucker getting drunk and high. So just because he isn't exploitative at the financial bracket that Chad Cronin is, just because he's a petty-ass little bitch that came from a poor family, doesn't mean Kenny isn't a predator. And just because he doesn't treat his friend Becky, who nobody, the way she presents herself, you'd have to have a death wish to try to run scam on her. She'll cut your nutsack off and shove it down your throat, and she'll make that very clear to you upon the first time you meet her. So just because he ain't hustling her the way he hustles other people who have completely different personalities than Becky, and from what people are telling me, she's no better. A lot of people in this community are telling me she taught him a lot of this shit, which I was suspect of her to begin with. Well, out here, Charles, who's who? And I don't answer it. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you anything I want to tell you, whether it answers your question or not. I'm an assassin. I don't even answer to my father, who fucking trained me. He's a man. He found a lot of this crap a little too convenient. Of course, he was much younger then, but whatever. He's had to learn a lot. I've certainly had to unlearn some shit. But the point is, we're the two biggest badasses there are. He don't answer to me, and I don't answer to him, which means I answer to nobody. If you help me, I'll help you. But yeah, that little cocksucker, he's a fucking predator. And I say that because if he's taken up time, these places where you fly a sign, there's a lot of us who need that space. He shouldn't be taking up space at a place and taking money from people who could otherwise give that money to me, and I'll use that money. Do I spend it on, let me put it to you this way. If he were spending his money on food and clothes and shit that actually benefited him in some way, yeah, when you spend it on eating out, it's expensive. You ain't got nothing to show for it. But at least you did something to benefit yourself. You're taking care of your own need. No, this bitch goes out and spends $200 fucking dollars, $600 in 6 days. He got paid twice one week because of Easter, and then the next Monday he went and flew a sign and made $200. So that's $600 in 6 days, or 9 days. Then wants me to feed his ass. Then wants other people to feed his motherfucking ass. No, if you had kept some of that money in your pocket, you could feed yourself, motherfucker. Wants me to give him my fucking sleeping bag, my gloves. No, bitch, go buy you some gloves. Go buy you a sleeping bag. Go buy you a fucking tent. And he knows this because he talked all the shit. Oh, yeah, when I get paid, I'm going to go get me a tent, and I'm going to get me this, and I'm going to get me that. And then when that time comes, he doesn't do that. He's lied to me. I don't know how many times, so that I would agree to help him. And then as soon as he gets that money in his pocket, let's put it this way: that cocksucker ain't had a thing to say to me in 2 fucking weeks. Because he knows he owes me money. He did this the last time I helped him. He didn't talk to me for 2 or 3 weeks. He did eventually give me $20, but for little. That's probably because I told Becky that he was a no-good son of a bitch. But the fact that he only helped me to try to placate her and placate me to save his reputation, to keep getting over her right there. He thinks he got us in the bag, he can go on and keep doing what he's doing. Why they gave him more money, I don't know. But that's Howard's. I think it's affiliated with Howard Center. I know he keeps saying Howard Center wants him back in the program. And here's the thing. Just because he's a little predatory piece of shit doesn't mean it's okay for doctors to run fraud scams on you. But when you are a predatory piece of shit and doctors run fraud scams on you, and to the point where it's deadly for you, nobody gives a shit. Nobody's going to give a damn if criminals kill other criminals. That's just how it goes. That's called karma. It's called you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. So if you see that little prick out flying a sign, and you're part of the progressive community that knows what's what, don't give that little cocksucker a dime. Somebody gave him a whole bag of groceries. He gave it to me. I think he kept the sandwich. He kept the foot-long sandwich. Everything else, he gave to me. He don't want food. He wants money to go fucking scratch. Only pedophiles get off on making other pedophiles rich. Look at Cash Patel. He gets off on making all these pedophiles richer. Just because Cash ain't a pedophile himself. It's just some sick shit that makes him feel more powerful to throw all his money to a bunch of rich pedophiles. Or be in servitude to rich pedophiles. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But that's the way it is with that little bastard. And the sooner that blood clot goes to his brain and takes him, or his heart and takes him the fuck out, the better off the society will be. He's a fucking parasite.